Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the final meeting of the Economic and Industry Development Committee for 2023. In the room we have Mayor Teresa Harding, Councillor Marnie Doyle, Councillor Andrew Fechner, and we have an apology for Councillor Madsen. Acknowledgement of country. The committee recognises the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet. We support the inclusion of First Nations people in the economic development of our city and acknowledge their existing and potential contribution to the economic drivers that support our continued development. I welcome particularly the upcoming First Nation Industry Yarns event, which will be a showcase of First Nation businesses, highlighting successful programs and providing opportunities for guidance and encouragement to businesses, both established and fledgling. Discussion of education and training and defining leadership will sharpen the focus on First Nations businesses and their contribution to our economic development. Are there any declarations of interest in matters on the agenda? Thank you. We have one business outstanding item. At the Economic and Industry Development Committee held on the 9th of October 2023, a resolution to invite the Ipswich Regional and Bremer Chamber of Commerce and TAFE Queensland to present at the 28th of November 2023 meeting was resolved as outlined below, that the presenters from Ipswich Region and Bremer Chamber of Commerce and TAFE Queensland scheduled to present at today's meeting, that was the 9th of November, be invited to present at the Economic and Industry Development Committee scheduled for 28th of November 2023. Unfortunately, the presenters were not available to attend for this meeting and will be invited to a future meeting. Confirmation of minutes. I move that the minutes of the Economic and Industry Development Committee held on 9th of November 2023 be confirmed. Could I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Doyle. Any discussion, amendments, additions? Thank you. We'll vote on that. All those in favour? Thank you. Officers' reports. Item 2, leveraging 2032, our roadmap to the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Excuse me. This is a report concerning leveraging 2032, our roadmap to the Olympic and Paralympic Games. The roadmap presents 20 legacy outcomes for the city across the themes of connected region, most livable, thriving regional economy and global identity. The roadmap also incorporates 2 intrinsic themes celebrating the world's oldest living continuing culture and recognising the need to create a barrier-free society with equal opportunity for all through thoughtful inclusion and accessibility. Does anyone wish to speak to the council officer? Thank you. The recommendation is that I move that the recommendation that Council approve leveraging 2023, our roadmap to the Olympic and Paralympic Games report. Any discussion? I did that, didn't I? Sorry.
I'll second it.
Huh?
I'll second it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll just make a brief statement. The Leveraging 2023 roadmap to the Olympic and Paralympic Games means that we are working to get the most advantage from the Games coming to Queensland. This is both an advocacy piece and an opportunity to showcase Ipswich. It will give our young people and our sporting organisations some direction as we aspire to have Ipswich representatives in both the Paralympic and Olympic Games. This is also an opportunity to achieve improved sporting infrastructure, and we look to additional benefits apart from sport, including releasing artistic and performance benefits. I put that to the vote. Those in favour?
May I speak to it as well?
Oh, please. Yes, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. We recently saw that the Queensland Government released Elevate 2042, the state's legacy plan for the 2032 Games, and I'm excited to see that our roadmap follows closely in its footsteps. As the Chair of the 2032 Legacy Working Group, I can wholeheartedly say that this document has been populated by the people of Ipswich. From our 2032 Legacy Summit, our community surveys and our own 2032 Legacy Working Group, these ideas have come from schools, sporting groups, community groups, business leaders right across Ipswich and South East Queensland. And there are some real game changers in here. Ideas that will ensure that our city is ready to maximise the social and economic opportunities that the Olympic and Paralympic Games will bring to our city. We've already been successful in securing Brighton Homes Arena as a Games venue. It's a Games medal venue. And this roadmap represents the next step in what we hope will be a golden era for Ipswich.
Any further discussion?
I just want to make comment, Councillor, that through the roadmap, we're actually seeing what we have already affirmed through some of our work in the advocacy space come to light in that, some of the big focuses here are in that critical and enabling infrastructure. That's something that came through in the consultation piece that happened associated with this roadmap. It's also the same message that we hear from our community time and time again. The sport infrastructure and development being the second most identified point of interest for roadmap initiatives is really important, and something that we have turned our mind to as a council as well through our planning for new sporting facilities and just those conversations that we have both at budget and also through the Community, Culture, Arts and Sports Committee. What does the future of that look like? And it's nice to see that, this document is pollinated with those aspirations as well. Really important that we get that consistent message from our community. It helps us when we are on our advocacy journey, when people are looking for that central document. What are you talking about? What does this mean for you? What opportunities do you envisage? Yes, these, all of these ideas are affirmed in the advocacy work that we've already done. Mayor, you're heading down to Canberra later this week to go and fly the flag for Ipswich. You're heading out tomorrow. Another great opportunity to, use the data within this document and within our advocacy work as well. Event attraction is something that we do really well, and I can't wait to see how Ipswich City Council can help, build the capacity in our businesses and community groups to help leverage the opportunity that is 2032. And I just want to pay particular attention to the one that didn't make it into the top 3, but is very important to people in our city, and that is sustainability and circular economy. What amazing themes to come out in the legacy roadmap, again, reaffirming one of the strong commitments that we've made as a council. So I really love the work that's gone into this. It has been hugely collaborative. The team have done an enormous work over the course of the last year to get this to a place where we're comfortable, and seeing it, in this form today, I speak in favour of progressing this through to Council Ordinary with a view to stand up and talk about it there, to say how proud we can be to produce such a wonderful document with our aspirations reaffirmed by our community to move forward to what is one of the biggest opportunities in southeast Queensland, the 2032 Olympic Games.
Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Any further discussion? I'll put it to the vote. Those in favour? And carried. Item 3, Economic Development Strategy Update. This is a report concerning the Economic Development Strategy 2023-2027. This strategy outlines Council's plan for sustainable economic growth, outlining how we can build the economy of the future, attract and retain diverse and high-value jobs for current and future generations, deliver a safe and efficient and a sustainable transport network, and ensure a healthy environment and foster an inclusive society. This report provides an update on the strategy, activities and outcomes achieved to December 2023, and the recommendation is the update be received and the contents noted. Could we speak to the Council Officer, please?
Good afternoon, Dan Heenan, Economic Development Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Heenan. There's such a lot in this report. I just had a couple of questions, just to hone in on a couple of important things. So starting a business fact sheet. So that'll apply to both large and single proprietor businesses?
It will. So what we find with that particular initiative, Councillor, is primarily aimed at capturing new business registrations, new ABN registrations in the city. And so typically what we find is they are made up of your startups, your micro businesses, sole traders as a starting point. And so for us, it's an opportunity to reach out to them early in the process and to share with them some of the resources and services of council and some of the other government agencies around the city. We would like to be able to capture some of the bigger businesses that are moving into the city, but we haven't quite figured out how to do that yet, but we're going to work with the ABR people to sort of see how we can interrogate that data. So typically, it's probably more, the audience will likely end up being the smaller businesses.
Thanks. I just wanted to be sure that we were, placing sufficient value on micro businesses as well as the big employers as well.
Yep.
Just another question. I note that you've had many meetings with landowners, commercial agents and investors. What are people saying about their experience of doing business in Ipswich?
There's, lots of feedback. So what we're hearing from small business at the moment is some of their biggest challenges, I suppose, in the city is attracting and retaining workforce, managing cash flow, particularly with interest rates on the rise. That's a real challenge for them, as well as growing and scaling. We're hearing that generally the market and level of interest in Ipswich is pretty strong. The industrial vacancy rate at the moment in the city is incredibly low. So that in itself represents, a real, I suppose, indicative of a strong local economy. And we've obviously got a great supply of industrial land here in the city too. So that'll be something for us going forward. And I think we've seen 12 new businesses over the past 12 months move into Ipswich Central. So, I think across the board, the sentiment about the city of Ipswich is positive. The market seems to be tracking pretty well. I think we've got some constraints in the office market with some of the older stock perhaps needing to be upgraded locally in the city, but that's obviously offset by the Icon building and some of the other space that council's got. So across the board, I think sentiment's pretty positive. We saw, as we reported earlier in the year, a 5% increase in GRP over the past 12 months and a 9% increase in local jobs. So, I think we're in a pretty optimistic place as a city.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Chair. If I may, my question was around prosperity and the recent activities, the 58 recent meetings with landowners, commercial agents, as you've just spoken to, specifically around Ipswich Central and residential living. We know that there's a number of large privately owned holdings on the market at the moment, along East Street, West Street, for example. Have you received any feedback, I guess, from that particular industry or market around residential high-density living in the city? We've invested a lot of money, obviously, within the Nicholas Street precinct. When you talk about employers having difficulty attracting and retaining staff, having a thriving, exciting nightlife is important to that, and creating that lifestyle place where people want to live and play and work. Why aren't we seeing that being converted, I guess, into residential accommodation in the middle of a housing crisis when there's privately owned holdings for sale as we speak that are probably perfectly positioned for that?
It's a real challenge. It's one that's not unique to Ipswich, and I think when we embarked on some of the engagement that we were doing early on for the Hotel Action Plan, we also used the opportunity of being in front of some of the bigger developers, in particular the Frasers, and had a genuine conversation with them about that product here in the city. And, the feedback was pretty consistent that the construction cost is our biggest constraint. It costs the same to build something here in Ipswich as it does in the CBD of Brisbane. But we don't have the market to sustain the land values that will essentially give us the feasible or give them the feasible development outcome. So, it's something that I think we'll continue to grapple with. Feedback from another listed property developer doing some work in Springfield is they're even struggling to get 3-story product to sort of work in that market. So, but they're saying that there will come a tipping point where land values improve to a point. And so I think that means as we embark on looking at some of the levers that council can pull to catalyse that form of development, we'll have to be, I think, a little bit creative, I think, in our approaches for that. But that's something that we're working on in the background.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any further questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I move that we receive and note the report. Is there a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Noting that we are being asked to receive and note, is there any discussion?
Just through you, Chair, thanks to yourself and also Councillor Doyle for the cracking questions and for Dan's ability to get up and, answer them. Council does play a huge role in just being the knowledge holder, understanding the local market so that we can continue to tackle these problems, with developers, with community, to try and bring our ideas of the city to life. I look forward to seeing the work that we do. I see one of the upcoming activities is starting a dedicated Shape Your Ipswich page to communicate and support local businesses. We've seen some really good success in some of the other specific, very targeted pages like the Creators of Ipswich page, which we've been able to grow and understand them, a little bit better. So I guess this is our way to tap into our small businesses, medium businesses and big businesses, have them all in that one place so it's easier to engage with and understand what their needs might be. Just seeing the way that some of the Shape Your Ipswich pages have been used over the course of the last 12 months. People have been using it a lot more. They've been buying into that because they want to know, they want to understand more. So I look forward to seeing the work that, through your leadership, Councillor Kunzelman, comes of that, because I think there is real value in that short, sharp, interaction with these people who are extremely busy or might not have time, just a spot for them to all hang out on the internet as one that isn't Facebook.
Thank you, Councillor Fechner. Any further discussion? There's such a lot in this report, and I note in particular efforts towards reaching out to businesses, both in affirming the value to our economy of established businesses and in the encouragement of new business. Special mention should be made of the Business Ipswich website, which the Economic Development Manager and I've recently reviewed for its usefulness to any business owner considering establishing in Ipswich. A calendar of business-related events and the city events plan will enhance the opportunities for networking to mutual advantage, as well as keeping council informed. In both the Olympic leveraging statement and the economic development strategy update, and in our ongoing advocacy program, we see an energetic and proactive economic development program, bringing opportunities for further success in this important area of council activities. And dates for achievement of the items listed will be added as time goes on. I thank councillors for their support for these programs. How we, councillors, speak about them in the community will add weight and give confidence in Ipswich as a place for investment. I'll put that to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. There are no notices of motion, no matters arising. I will close the meeting at 1:35. The next committee will meet at 1:45. Thank you.